Allow me to introduce myself, brawlers. My name is Soy and I love playing Brawl Stars, especially Brawl Ball. I have played over 800 hours of Brawl Stars and the majority of them are just Brawl Ball. So although I would never dare to claim that I'm one of the best players out there, but I think I have played enough matches to be able to tell you what's worked and what's not. In the last video, I promised you guys and myself that I'm going to make something a little bit different than my usual tips and tricks video, but turns out it's going to need more time than I originally expected. So instead, starting this week, I'm going to make a new series where I dive into individual brawlers and tell you how to play them in Brawl Ball, especially with randoms. So for our first episode, we are going to start with also our first brawler in the game, which is Shelly. The first thing you'll want to do when playing with Shelly is to look in the enemy team if they have a tank. And then you play the game, just chase after the tank and try to make their life as hard as you possibly can. Especially if you're playing with a random team and doesn't have another tank killer. If you see a Bull, you see a Daryl, you see a Primo, they will be your main targets. You see a Frank about to use his super, stop him at all costs. Also, you need to stay alive. Do not push unless you're certain that you are going to make it. In this clip, I didn't kill anyone, but we still managed to push and score a goal anyway, because Shelly could act as a deterrent just by being there. So try to play defensively at first to build up your super while making sure that you're not feeding the enemy's supers. You should hide behind box and poke and shoot. Just do the hide behind box and poke and shoot and stand your ground until you get the upper hand. Shelly is arguably the #1 tank killer in whole of Brawl Stars, which make her one hell of a defender. In defensive situations, make sure you know when to use your ammo to clear the ball, or if you want to use that ammo to shoot at the enemies instead. In my previous video, 5 instant tips to get better in Brawl Ball, I have talked about this stuff, so be sure to check it out if you haven't already. In this next clip, the enemy long-range brawlers has been causing us a lot of problems, so I go around and try to pinch them between me and my teammates. By doing this, I distracted Brock and Rico's attention and eventually break their defense. This is actually a great strategy for any brawlers, not just Shelly, but it became more essential for Shelly, who's outranged by many other brawlers. The next tip is also a general tip that will work with every other brawler, which is to react to what your teammates are doing. I see a lot of people just stand behind boxes and hide, doesn't matter what their teammates are doing, and that is really bad. In this clip, I was about to regain my health, but I see my teammate Nita pushing forward, so I join her. My teammate Primo also have the same good idea, and because we attack together, I managed to score a sick corner goal. But the most exciting thing that you can do with Shelly is probably this little move that I call the kick and shoot. Basically, you just kick the ball and quickly follow up with your super to get rid of anything that's unfortunate enough to stand in its way. As usual, I'm gonna play with bots so you can see the buttons that I'm actually pressing. Start with holding the shoot button and then quickly swipe the super button at the same direction after you let go of the shoot button. You don't want to do this when you're too close to the obstacles because the ball could bounce back to you and you'll end up with an embarrassing accidental super kick. But after you master this, you could use it to do anything. You could get rid of opponents that in front of your way. You could use it to get rid of box. Of course, you could also use it to assist your teammates when they want to score but there are enemies in front of them. And that wraps up today's video. I hope it helps you out, and if it does, please hit like, leave comments, tell me anything, and of course subscribe so you won't miss any other awesome tips and tricks videos. Until the next one, my name is Soy, signing out.